What's happening, ladies and gentlemen? Zeus bringing you another build video. This one's going to be my updated Stamina Dragonknight build for the Greymoor patch. Now this whole patch has been a complete headache trying to adapt and adjust to a entirely different playstyle. And you guys who are new to my channel, I appreciate you guys stopping by. And pretty much all that we do here is PvP oriented things, whether it be tips and tricks, build videos, Xing, group play, etc, etc. But I know why everybody's here, and that's for the build. But I'm going to start off by saying thank you guys for getting me to almost 1.7k subs. About a month ago, I came back to the game or so, and in a month we have gained almost 500 subscribers, give or take, right on the mark. And because of that, I'm going to try to upgrade my channel for you guys. So I've been looking for a GFX editor and just anybody that can do screenshots and stuff. So if you guys do know anybody and you guys are interested in either helping the channel or maybe making some money, then put down in the comment section if you do know somebody, and I'll get in contact with them and we'll discuss prices and stuff along those lines. Now let's go ahead and hop into the build video before my continuous runs out. This is the buff stats, but not completely buffed. Front bar, we got 1800 recovery basically, 6k weapon damage, and then back bar we have pretty much the same. 1800 recovery with a little bit less weapon damage because it's not unarmed. Now we'll just go ahead and hop into the gear. It's pretty simple, but it's a new set that got brought into the game, or at least updated. Now we are using New Moon. It's just there's no reason not to run New Moon. There's just not. It's just everything that has to do with this set is amazing. The damage is great. There's no sense running anything other than this. There are a lot of good other choices like stuns. I've heard good things about stuns, but I haven't personally tested it. I just think you're going to get your most bang for your buck offensively with New Moon. We're just running potatoes back bar. Again, it's just best in slot. Like, unless you can find another two-piece that does more than the extra 5%, then there's really no sense. We are using double dot poisons back bar and weapon damage enchant front bar. Again, more bang for your buck. Now we've tested around with a lot of things as far as monster sets is concerned. I tested Malabeth for extra mending. I found that it clashes with your fragmented shield because it's the same buff. So those buffs don't stack, so there's really no point except for just more uptime. But I pretty much keep, anytime that I'm healing, I'm using fragmented shield for major mending anyway, so Malabeth wasn't for me. Troll King was a good choice if you guys are struggling with healing still. If you try this build, Troll King synergizes very well with our other set. Troll King, even though it got nerfed, it's still pretty good. It really helps with a lot of the healing that we've been having issues with. And believe it or not, Bloodspawn is still viable. I still like Bloodspawn. I love everything that has to do with it. So if you guys are interested, Bloodspawn is still a good choice. You really can't go wrong with the monster mask. It's just Troll King and Bloodspawn and everything else. They all work, but I felt like I lacked damage, so I switched to Battlorgs. And with me and a couple buddies, Mondo and Ivan, ended up farming me for the head. So it's a very strong set, except for especially right now where everybody's having issues with healing. Now our second set is Orgnum Scales. If you guys are not familiar with this set, it's a newly released set, and it synergizes well with Troll King. But the fifth piece is pretty much just health recovery and extra resistances, which I feel like we need this patch. I think I seen a build video by I want to say either Is There No One Else or Dots Gaming or somebody already using this, but it's still a good set, and this is what I'm going to decide to use on my build. I mean, it is what it is, so I'll give them the credit where credit's due, even though I had this made like a week ago. But it's a fantastic set. I mean, just 60%, or while you're under 60%, you have like 800 health recovery. I mean, it's just great. And extra resistance, this is like 6.2k extra resistance, a lot of damage mitigation. I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. We are running 5 medium and 2 heavy. It's just max health, and the extra damage that you get from medium armor just really affect your heals. And it makes a huge difference as far as damage too. Now the only downside about running two crafted sets like New Moon and Orgnums is you are going to have to make the jewelry. And for the jewelry, I just choose infused weapon damage. You're more than welcome to run a recovery glyph here if you're having issues with sustain. I will say with this build, with continuous, I don't have issues, but if I do not have continuous, I am put in the situation where I have to heavy weave more. Now let's go ahead and hop into the CP. Everybody's CP is pretty much individually based, so like what might work for me might not work for you. So if you guys need to, you can change this stuff around and make it fit your playstyle and everything along those lines. You guys can speed this up or slow it down if you need to. Like I said, it's different for everybody. I just put a little bit of points into healthy because we are running two, or at least one health recovery set, and if you use stroking, it's gonna be buffed even more. So we do have quite a bit in tenacity, 9%, and then a little bit in the stamina recovery. You could probably take some out of here and put into here if you're having more sustain issues and are forced to heavy weave a little bit more. Now as far as tumbling, we have 56 and 51 Shadow Ward. It's just, I would like to have more into Shadow Ward, but I don't have the points to put them there. So it just is what it is. Now to make up for some of the lost healing, instead of running 27 Blessed, I'm running an extra % into Blessed for the healing. And then Mastered Arms and the Precise Strikes and stuff, that's the same as my last video. It's just, unless you're really, because I tried running 75, either 74 or 75 into Blessed, and I couldn't tell a bit of difference between 32 Blessed and 75 into Blessed. There's no difference in healing. So the universal healing is still the same. I've actually contemplated taking all the points out of Blessed and putting them into more offensive stats because I just can't tell that it's even there. I just don't feel it. Now as far as the CP, you are more than welcome to take points out of resistant because of the base 1000 crit resist. I think with this build we have over 2k crit resist. I'm sorry, almost 3.5k almost. That's a lot of crit resist. So you don't really have to build for crit resist anymore because of the base crit resist that they gave us with this patch. So you could probably take every bit out of here and put somewhere else. It's just I prefer to have it here because of this passive, which is the shield. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it's quite a, I mean 600 could be a life or death situation, you know, and these other passives aren't bad either. Now as far as the middle tree, I just have enough in here to get Unchained, which is super key for Xing. If you're not familiar with it, it's just when you break free, pretty much your next stam ability is free. Use this on your big buff like Vigor or for Momentum or Elude. Makes it pretty much free. It's huge for sustain. But the only difference is I took a lot out of my first red tree and put it into quick recovery. I think I had like 7 points into here, which is like 2%. So I gave us an extra 5% healing received, which does affect your heals. Now if you are still having issues with sustain and damage and healing, mainly healing, then you're more than welcome to run the ritual. It's an extra 10% healing, but I chose to run the warrior just because the warrior does still affect your heals and it gives you more damage. Same goes with the tower, except for with the tower you have like a 300 less tooltip for healing and damage and almost everything. So the warrior is still overall, for min-maxing, the best in my opinion. Now I did put 10 points into healthy and 54 points in the stamina. Honestly, you could probably take the 10 points out of healthy and put it in the stam. It's just, I like having a lot of extra health, especially with this patch where you're pretty much getting bursted down like crazy. So, let's see, what did we miss? We're still using the same food, the lava foot. It's just with this build, if you don't run this food, you're gonna have some huge sustain issues unless you're planning on heavy weaving every single attack. But lava foot's just too good to pass up. Now another good choice is Artaeum, because with Artaeum you do get health recovery, which synergizes well with Troll King and or Orgnum Scales. Now let's see, we're using tripods as well with this build and this patch in general. Again, sustain issues. I just feel like you're going to have to run tripods, especially with this build, because Stamina Dragonknight really relies on mag, especially for its heals, whether that be for Fragmented Shield or Cauterize and everything else. I've caught myself having to overbuff with Fragmented Shield and Cauterize because of the lack of healing this patch. Let's see, what are we missing? Let's see, we got I am a Dark Elf. Again, I just feel like Dark Elf is the best race for both classes, Stam and Mag Dk, and the passes from it are just great. Now, as far as race is concerned, you can pretty much choose any race for Stam DK. It all works well in its own little niche. Like, Nord works very well for Stam DK, Imperial works really well for Stam DK if you're running a dot build. If you think, I mean, Wood Elf is even good. Wood Elf is good for the extra recovery. I think Wood Elf would be very good with this build. It's just Dark Elf is good for me, so I can play Mag and Stam. That's the only reason. And the passes are really good, so you just can't pass up on it. Now, as far as the bar setup, we're using Noxious, Dizzy, Executioner, Camouflage Hunter for momentum, take flight. And then for the back bar, we're using Cauterize, Elude, Hardened Armor, Vigor, Fragmented Shield, and the Sigical. My bar setup's actually identical to my previous build, except for this patch you could probably run, instead of Camouflage Hunter here, you could run Venomous Claw, because dots are going to be a pain in this patch because nobody can heal. It's just I don't like the rotation with it, and I just feel like I do more burst damage with Camouflage Hunter because it gives you the 3% weapon damage and a lot of crit. And also, as far as heals is concerned, if you're having trouble still healing, you can switch this to Shuffle, the other version of the medium armor buff, and switch this to Rally, which is the other morph. It gives you a pretty decent heal. I know the heal from it's a little bugged right now, but it's still, every little bit of healing helps. So, I mean, you just can't go wrong with it. We do have pretty much every passive, two-handed sword and board, etc., etc. Fighters Guild, Sigic, Undaunted. I mean, these are all mid-max things. I mean, you could go without Undaunted, you could go without Sigic and still do fine. Just run sword and board, old back bar or something. And I mean, it'll still be viable. So farming these things are just something that you can do to make your build, this build and any other build that you decide to make, a lot stronger. I think we covered pretty much everything as far as the gear and skill points and champion points and everything is concerned. So I will go out on this note. I appreciate everybody here recently that has stopped by and watched my content and supported my channel. In the past couple, ever since I came back, which is a little bit over a month ago, we have gained over 500 subscribers, and that is phenomenal, and that is all thanks to you guys. And your support here recently, whether it be in the comment section or subscribing or the feedback that I've gotten in the past little bit, is phenomenal. And I want you guys to keep that up. I mean, this is great. It's great for my channel, it's great for the community, because that gives me the opportunity to bring my content and stuff to more people. And I think overall it makes the game a better place. Because it helps newcomers and, you know, more experienced people alike. So if you guys did enjoy this video and you guys do try this build, do not forget to drop a line down there in that comment section. I mean, your all's feedback is super important to the content that I do bring to this channel. Without it, I cannot adjust my content to fit your guys' needs. Now, that pretty much covers everything for the video. If you guys did enjoy it, like, comment, subscribe, the whole YouTube spiel. You know, I'll spare you this time. But until next time, fellas, deuces. Alrighty, fellas, this is going to go on that feedback thing that I was talking about a little bit ago. On almost every single build video that I've made since I've came back to playing this game, I've had somebody or multiple people come down in the comment section and say, where's the build gameplay? So I brought it to you this time. I know it makes the build video, or the actual video itself, be a little bit longer, but as long as you guys can see this build in action and this is what you guys want to see, I will always, from here on to this point, put footage in my build videos. So here we are. I'm gonna let this shit roll out, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Deuces.